Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about all things fandom on this channel, and we talk about it in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you've come to the right place. We're so happy to have you here today, and today we have to talk a little bit about Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. The first trailer dropped, and people have stuff to say about it, and we're going to talk about that as well as what we think and about some things you possibly didn't know, what we can expect from this movie, and just overall have a conversation about it. So let's jump right into it. All right, so if you saw the trailer, you already know it had some funny moments in it. And there are some people that thought that this trailer shouldn't have any funny moments in it. Of course, these are the same people who were criticizing Superman for having some comical moments in it. Although Superman wasn't essentially a comical movie, though it did have a few one-liners and a few jokes. That is on par with what Marvel has been doing for years. It's also on par, yes, with what James Gunn has done for years. But the Supergirl movie is different because it's not a James Gunn movie. It's not directed by James Gunn. He didn't write it. And in fact, that's the only thing that people have been running with, is that this is typical James Gunn. This universe that James Gunn is building is entirely his, and it's going to be his for the long haul. We can't expect anything good in it because James Gunn can only do comedy. That's kind of a yes and no. You see, James Gunn is one of those people. He's one of those people that's kind of in touch with pop culture. He does pop culture references really well. And we see it in all of his stuff. That doesn't mean that anytime you see a pop culture reference in the DC universe, or anytime you see a funny thing in the coming movies of the DC universe, that it's all because of him. Because these upcoming movies have nothing to do with him. These upcoming movies that we're seeing are not all going to be his. As of right now, yes, we've only seen James Gunn stuff, and that's only because it has only just begun. But the more we get into it, the more we're going to see from other writers. And James Gunn made that promise to us. He told us that, yes, you're going to see other writers. You're going to see things that differ from the things that you've seen before. And this is true. Now, you get people that are talking about this trailer. And what people have been saying is that it's too comical. Well, if you're talking about how comical this trailer is, apparently we haven't watched many Marvel movies, because the stuff that Tony Stark says about the other Avengers really does make this uncomparable to it, because Tony Stark has some of the best one-liners and insults in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So when you're looking at the DCU and you see a scene where Crypto pees on a newspaper that also happens to have Superman on it, the narrative that some people are running with is that this is an insult to Superman, and it's not. This is not an insult to Superman at all, but what it is just having a little bit of fun. And it's not written by James Gunn. So if James Gunn didn't write the joke, that means someone else wrote it, and they thought this was also funny. And as far as trailers go, this was a pretty good trailer. We got a couple scenes showing us our enemy, but not a lot. We got a scene kind of showing us what was going on, kind of telling us what to expect from this movie without really telling us anything at all. A lot of it was more lighthearted than I really expect the movie to be. Because honestly, the scenes that we got all kind of happen, I think, within the first half of the movie. And then, of course, we get to see Lobo. And people are saying that Lobo wasn't in the original Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow comic. So what exactly is this movie based on? And how does it differ from the actual comic book? So let's get into that a bit. So according to the film's director, Greg Gillespie, he said, "I deliberately read Anna's script before I read the comic, because I wanted to see how it would hold up. I didn't really know anything about this, like Supergirl lore. I was kind of a perfect audience for this, because any questions I have, I could ask. But she did an amazing job working that narrative." And he goes on to say, it was clear to me what was going on. And you know, we keep mentioning the Tom King book. She really took it to a different place as well. So for everybody thumbing through that Tom King novel right now, it's different. It's also fair to point out that Belkis, who did all the art for the Tom King book, was also a big inspiration and is equally as important as Tom King is to that book. Millie Alcock's Supergirl will be different from the previous live-action takes. And this is because of the content of the movie. And yes, there are some ways that this movie will differ from the Tom King book. However, this is not to say that it's going to be bad. It's not to say it's going to be horrible. Because, and a little interesting side note that I've heard is that at one time, they were supposed to have Lobo in that book, but I think it was some sort of copyright reason or something. They couldn't use him. I'm not sure what it was, but they were told they couldn't use him. And therefore, they didn't put him in the book to begin with. But he would have been in that book, so I think it's fun that they bring him back into it. And this whole point that people have about this movie looks silly is just sort of this take on a first trailer. It's not supposed to show you anything at all. The first trailer is only to show you a few scenes, a brief tease of some of the characters, and that's all. The first trailer is meant to excite you only enough to make you go, I wonder what this character does. I wonder who this character is. Oh, wait, here's Crypto. He's cute, and he's back, and he's still up to mischief. And then, oh, here's Supergirl, just like we saw her at the end of the Superman movie, still drunk. And yet, the narrative of this movie is that she's supposed to have some major arc throughout the movie. And therefore, I think the trailer did amazing. I think that this was a fun trailer. This trailer served its purpose. Not to mention the fact that Lobo was supposed to be in the original book, apparently. And they even kind of have said it was great to bring him back into it, even though it was something they wanted to do back then that they didn't do at the time. It was great to see him back in. So how does he change the story? We don't know. But I really do expect that Lobo won't play some huge role in it. But yes, there's probably a fight between him and Supergirl. We kind of got to see those scenes leaked online. People were looking at pictures where it looks like the two of them might be fighting. And I think that it's going to be a lot of fun to see where that goes and what comes of it. And I think that as we look into this, we're going to see that this movie is a lot more than just your typical James Gunn movie. So for all the people that are running with the narrative that it's only a James Gunn movie, he actually has nothing to do with it, like I said earlier, and he really doesn't have any say in the jokes, the seriousness of the movie, or anything else. This is someone else's work. And I'm really excited to see what they are doing with this movie. But that's where I'm going to leave it off to you guys. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Have you seen the trailer? Not seen the trailer? Are you excited for the movie? Not excited for the movie? Did you know that Lobo was potentially supposed to be in the original? Have you heard any other things that differ from the actual graphic novel? What are you thinking about this? I want to know all of your thoughts in the comments below. Just remember to be nice to each other, because we're all just fans at the end of the day. And I want to hear from each and every one of you, so make sure you are leaving me that comment. And then make sure you share this video with all of your friends so they can be a part of our conversation as well. Then you're going to want to hit that like button if you like people talking positive about the fandoms you love, because there is going to be a lot of negativity going forward for this topic. And if you want to hear more positive things, let YouTube know. Hit that like button so that YouTube's algorithm knows to send you more positive content. It can't hurt, it can only help. And if you're liking my videos personally, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you never miss a single video we do. Because friends, at the end of the day, I know it and you know it. Fandom is family.